Welcome everybody. Today's video is going to be about two alleged apparitions, the one in Garabandal and the one in Medjugorje, and why I believe that the Catholic Church isn't keen on giving their rubber stamp of approval on either one. Now, I'm not saying this is the reason that the Catholic Church doesn't want to approve either apparition. I just think it's a key factor in why they are hesitant in approving either the Garabandal or the Medjugorje apparition. So firstly, we need to look at the key thing that both of these alleged apparitions have in common. And that, if you have any interest in these apparitions, if you've read about them, isn't too difficult to work out. Both apparitions basically prophesy something that's going to happen. And they make it very clear that it's going to happen, and it's going to happen fairly soon. And there's not really any ambiguity in it, in kind of like these kind of things will happen in future. It's pretty much this specific thing is going to happen at a certain time. Okay? So if we look at Garabandal first, because that was before Medjugorje. So in Garabandal, it has been said, allegedly, by the Virgin Mary, that there will first be a warning, and that's an illumination of conscience that everyone would experience. So this is something that would be very difficult to ignore if it happened. It isn't vague. It isn't like, oh, things will get worse, more people will become ill. No, it's people around the world, everywhere, are going to have an illumination of conscience. They're going to see themselves as God sees them, in a way. It's almost like they're going to see their own souls and the state of their own soul. And that's very unusual. That's something you don't really see every day. You might know or have an idea of the state of your soul based on how you have behaved in your life and what you've done. But in terms of actually seeing your soul or seeing your conscience and what kind of shape it's in, that's an event that if it happens, it's going to be very difficult to ignore. So that's the first thing that's meant to happen, the warning. After the warning, there's going to be a miracle, a sign that will be left in Garabandal. People that are actually there for when this takes place will be healed. The sick are going to be healed. Sinners will convert and non-believers will believe. Conchita, who is to reveal this miracle, is going to announce it 8 days before. So that's another thing. Conchita is going to announce this. So Conchita is now 71 or 72 years old, I think. So if she is to announce it, she needs to do it fairly soon. Because, well, who knows? She might live another 20 years or more. But it's something that you're expecting to happen in her lifetime. So that's the first one. That's Garabandal. There's a warning. There's a miracle. And people can be there to observe the miracle, but I think after the miracle has taken place, the sign is still going to remain in Garabandal for people to see. And then, if after these two things, the warning and the miracle, things don't change, there's supposed to be a great chastisement. So that's Garabandal. If we move on to Medjugorje, as we know there are allegedly a number of secrets that have been left to the seers in Medjugorje. The third one is particularly significant though. It's to be a lasting sign on Apparition Mountain that's going to be indestructible. Basically, we're told that when people who don't believe see this, they will be converted, they will believe, because there is nothing like this that's ever been seen in the world before. And again, this is something that's going to be revealed by Mirjana before it happens. So she's going to tell her chosen priest, that as far as we know right now is Father Petar Ljubicic. He's then going to fast, and then he's going to reveal that this sign is going to take place, or this secret, is going to take place, and then it's going to take place. And there are a number of other secrets that are also to be revealed by Mirjana to the priest, who will then fast and announce them. So once again, we pretty much have, allegedly, a prophecy. This is going to happen. Mirjana is going to reveal it. She's going to reveal it in her lifetime. She has to. If she's going to reveal it, she has to reveal it while she's still alive. So again, she's in her sort of mid-50s now. Sometime in the next years, and this isn't going to be hundreds of years away, this is going to start happening. So that's why I think the Catholic Church isn't keen on pronouncing either of these apparitions definitively true. Because if these things don't happen, if in Garabandal Conchita doesn't announce anything and she dies, people are going to say, hold on, this seems like a lot of rubbish then. Because it's going to be very difficult to believe that, oh, Mary changed her mind. Mary told Conchita that she is going to reveal certain things to the world. And then she decided, you know what, no, actually, no, Conchita, it's fine, you don't have to reveal them. God's changed his mind, so forget all of that. Very unlikely. Same with Medjugorje. If there are secrets that have been given to the seers and Mariana is to choose a priest to reveal the secrets to, and then the priest is going to reveal the secrets. And by the way, the priest, Father Petar Ljubicic, is also getting on in age. I think he's in his mid-70s now. If that doesn't happen, if she doesn't reveal the secrets to him, if she dies, if the other seers die, and we don't hear anything about any of these secrets, nothing happens, there's no sign left in Medjugorje, then once again, people are going, what's going on here? And if the church has approved this, people will look at the church and say, oh, okay, so you said this was true, this apparition, and look, it looks like it isn't. Why should we believe anything else that you tell us? Now, people could point to other apparitions. There have been other apparitions where something was prophesied in a way, but it wasn't done in the same way as Garabandal and Medjugorje. If we take Our Lady of Akita, for example, she did say, fire will fall from the sky and will wipe out a great part of humanity, the good as well as the bad, sparing neither priests nor faithful. It's conditional. Okay, so in this particular case, this is going to happen if men do not repent and better themselves. So it could not happen if we don't see this fire falling from the sky for a long time. And people might say, what happened to this fire? But then the Catholic Church can always say, well, maybe enough men have repented and they have bettered themselves. Even though there's still a lot of evil in the world, the conditions may not have been met for this particular terrible thing to happen. Our Lady of the Good Event, Our Lady of Quito, or Our Lady of Good Success, the various ways to call that one, that could be another one that's pointed to. And here the Blessed Mother did mention some things that would happen. And they were to happen starting in right around the mid-20th century. So she talked about widespread moral corruption, profanation of the sacrament of matrimony, unbridled lust, loss of innocence among children, and modesty among women. I personally think they've all happened. And maybe even around that time of the mid-20th century or after that, they were really starting to take place. But once again, someone who's a bit skeptical could say, well, these were very vague things. I mean, if you look at something, for example, like lack of priestly and religious vocations, that's something that people could say have happened for a long time now. There's been periods often in the past where priests have, there's been a lack of priestly vocation. So it wasn't really saying this particular thing is going to happen. It's going to be announced at this time. And then when you go there, you will clearly see it. It's kind of generally talking about things that are going to happen. And I think personally, there's only one way to interpret some of these things. Like loss of innocence among children and loss of modesty among women has very clearly happened to me. The profanation of the sacrament of matrimony has very clearly happened to me. But then there's others who will still maybe interpret it differently and say, well, we haven't really had a loss of innocence among children. There are some children maybe who wear some odd clothes considering their age, but generally is that really a loss of innocence? There's always interpretations with these things because they're kind of widespread moral corruption, for example. I mean, that's a very broad thing. So, yeah, I mean, perhaps not the greatest reason you might think, but honestly, I think one of the key reasons, I think the church just isn't keen on approving apparitions where there is something very exact, like an exact prophecy that says this is going to happen. If Garabandal and Medjugorje don't have these signs, if there is nothing revealed, and the people who are supposed to reveal these things just die, then the church is going to look very bad. So, yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching, folks. Hopefully see you again soon.